or so. Who's going to be speaking? Step up to the mic, sir. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes. Good afternoon, and thank you for attending. I apologize for the late notice of this meeting. My name is Sergeant Ian Albert, and I'm a Public Information Officer for the Town of Fredrick Police Department. On August 13th at approximately 1:40 p.m., Fredrick officers responded to the residents of the 2800 block of Saratoga Trail in our town regarding a welfare check. A friend of the family had called, advising that they had not heard from Shanann Watts and was concerned. After visiting the home, our agency began the investigation of the following missing persons: Shanann Watts, age 34, Bella Marie, age 4, Celeste, who also goes by Cece, age 3, Shanann's 2 daughters. As our investigation continued to unfold, we reached out to both the Colorado Bureau of Investigations and the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Both agencies have provided us with an immense amount of support and staff that is needed to handle a case of this magnitude. There's a lot at stake here, and we are exploring all avenues in order to not rule anything out. I also want to take this time to assure everyone that there is no reason to believe that the public is at risk, and we will continue to update everyone as things unfold. Because this case is ongoing, however, I will not release any details that may jeopardize our investigation. The main point of this statement is to ask the public for your help in locating Shanann, Bella, and Cece. We need your help. Their photographs have been posted on our town Facebook page and Twitter account. We have also created flyers to pass out to people in case they need a hard copy of their photos. Additionally, our agency has been conducting canvasses of the surrounding areas of the Windham Hill subdivision where Saratoga Trail is located. Our officers will be conducting checkpoints later in the day as well too, where we will be handing out flyers to see if anyone has any information to bring Shanann, Bella, and Cece home to us. The hearts of our men and women of this agency go out to the family and friends of Shanann, Bella, Marie, and Cece. And I want to assure them, along with you all, that we are working around the clock on this case and will not rest until we have the answers that we are looking for. I will be providing another update at around 6 p.m. I thank you all for your patience, and that is all I have. Thank you.
Why is there no danger to the public?
Thank you. Todd Norris with the Fredrick Police Department. 19th Judicial District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Michael Rourke. Colorado Bureau of Investigation Director John Camper. Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent in Charge Calvin Shivers. And thank you all again. To give you some background, the Fredrick Police Department received a missing person call just before 2 p.m. on Monday, August 23rd, 2018. Our agency launched an investigation conducting interviews, neighborhood canvasses, in an effort to locate Shanann and her 2 girls, Bella and Celeste. We also contacted the FBI and the CBI to assist in this case. In addition to providing investigative agents and crime scene responders, a missing endangered alert was announced on Tuesday afternoon. Fredrick PD conducted additional canvasses where flyers featuring Shanann, Celeste, and Bella were distributed throughout the community. Finally, in the late hours of Wednesday evening, the husband, Chris Watts, was taken into custody and was transported to the Weld County Jail just after 11:30 p.m. last night. He is currently scheduled for a bond hearing later today. Now, we will take questions later after the interview. However, I would like to turn it over to Chief Norris for a brief statement, please.
Thank you, Ian. I would just like to say our hearts and our prayers go out to the families of this tragedy. I also want to acknowledge the overwhelming support that I have personally received from our community. I truly, truly appreciate that. I also want to say thank you to the local, state, and federal agencies that the gentleman behind me that has helped us with this investigation. I will now turn it over to the DA, Michael York. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. My name is Michael Rourke. I'm the Weld County District Attorney. And I hope that you all understand this investigation is still ongoing. We are at the very preliminary stages of this investigation, and so as a result of that, we're going to be constrained in the types of questions that we can answer, and I hope that you all understand that at this point. I wanted to address the process and the procedure that's going to occur from this point forward. After the suspect was arrested last night, this case has been formally referred to my office for determination of the appropriate formal charges that will be filed against the suspect. As Sergeant Albert indicated, the suspect has a bond hearing this afternoon at 2:30 in Division 5 at the Weld County Courthouse. Following that, we will be given a deadline by which we need to file formal charges. That will be sometime Monday afternoon, and we will make a determination on charges between now and then. That determination will be based upon the information that we have at this point as a result of the cooperation by Fredrick Police Department, by the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I truly want to thank all of those partners for their efforts. I'm going to turn it over to the CBI director for a few comments, and like I said, we will answer questions at the end, but please understand two things. Number one, the suspect at this point is presumed innocent until otherwise proven guilty in a court of law. And number two, I'm constrained ethically as to what I can say, what I can answer at this point in time. Director?
Thanks, Mr. Rourke. Hi, I'm John Camper, Director of the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. We join with Chief Norris, the Fredrick PD, and really the entire town of Fredrick in expressing our sorrow for the loss of Shanann Watts, Bella, and Celeste. This is absolutely the worst possible outcome that any of us could imagine, and I think our hearts are broken for the town of Fredrick as much as anybody's. As you probably know, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation is primarily a by-request agency, and the Fredrick PD did reach out to us. We were honored to assist with both investigative services and forensic resources as well, and that's primarily been our role with that. We've had at least 15 to 20 investigators as well as forensic team members active on this case for the last several days. As horrible as this outcome is, our role now is to do everything that we can to determine exactly what occurred and assist in filing a thorough case with the 19th Judicial District. I, too, don't anticipate being able to answer much in the way of additional questions very thoroughly, especially in the coming days. We'll probably refer you more to the DA's office in the upcoming days, but we'll do what we can in the meantime. And then I, too, want to note that the cooperation that occurred and the collaboration that occurred in this case was textbook. The Fredrick PD has just been outstanding to work with, and an extremely impressive job of investigating this case, along with the resources of the FBI and the collaboration with CBI has been outstanding. And I also might add that the collaboration and cooperation by Anadarko, which, as you know, is somewhat involved in this as well, has also been outstanding. They've been nothing but cooperative in helping us with this investigation as well. So with that, let me turn it over to Special Agent in Charge, Mr. Shivers.
Good morning. My name is Calvin Shivers. I'm the Special Agent in Charge for the FBI's Denver Division. And I also would like to express my condolences to the families and to the victims of the families for their loss. The FBI supported this investigation from day one, and as Director Camper just mentioned, this was a great example of the law enforcement community coming together. Unfortunately, it was not the outcome that we were looking for, but again, the support of all the state, local, and federal partners is critical to making our community safe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kelvin. Like I said yesterday, we will not jeopardize any part of this investigation. However, today we will take some questions, but no details will be released that will jeopardize anything. Okay. Sir.
Yeah, Jason Weston with Channel 7 here. Have you been able to recover the bodies?
Oh, please.
At this point, we have been able to recover a body that we're quite certain is Shanann Watts' body. We have strong reason to believe that we know where the bodies of the children are, and recovery efforts are in process on that.
And you mentioned Anadarko. Is it fair to say that these were recovered on Anadarko property?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Has he given you any indication, and we know, and I have reported that you guys have spoken with him, has he given you any indication as to why he might have allegedly committed these crimes?
And that part, Jace, we just can't get into any comments that may or may not have been made by an individual in an interview. That really would jeopardize
Has he been
the
cooperative
case.
with you?
So, and I can't even give you an assessment of that. I apologize.
Do you believe that there could be anyone else involved in this, helping with the bodies, or any indication that there could be additional people or suspects?
We have an awful lot of people that we still need to talk to. As you can imagine, an investigation like this, it's complex. We talk to anyone and everyone that, no matter how loosely related to this that might be, and so we've got a lot of folks that we need to talk to. In terms of, I think it's safe to say that in terms of any danger to the community or anything like that, we're not concerned about that at all. And so I'll leave it at that.
Generally speaking, what would you say led the case to Mr. Watts? Was it statements by him or the discovery of the bodies?
It would be a totality of the circumstances, a full police investigation. Regarding any more details than that, I will not give out.
What
Do
do
you
you
know
guys,
when they were killed, more or less?
That I do not have at my disposal.
And I'll elaborate a little bit on that. Any sense if he killed them all at the same time? Did he kill the kids over the weekend and get this right at the end? Can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
That would be one of the many details that we are not able to discuss at this time. As I said before, the case is still ongoing. Investigation is still continuing.
Is there a timeline between when Mr. Watts was arrested and when the body of Shanann was recovered? Can you give us some detail on the timeline?
I don't want to test anything that I'm not either certain about myself or that would jeopardize the case in the matter.
The victim's family on social media said that he confessed to the murders. Can you confirm that?
Again, that would be a detail that I would not be able to disclose at this time.
Can you talk personally about the toll this case has taken on the town of Fredrick, on your officers, on the team?
Absolutely. That is a question I can't answer, and it's been earth-shattering. Our small department, 20-plus officers, we've been working around the clock on this, and it's something that we've been working with the community, with the command staff, with the town of Fredrick themselves, obviously the media, you find people, and it's been nonstop. And I don't want to say that there's no end in sight, but it's certainly ongoing.
Can you talk about, I know that the family is located on the East Coast, mainly for Shanann, just kind of bringing them here and kind of how you guys are working with the family?
Out of respect to the family, I don't want to disclose anything about their personal lives. Thank you, though.
Mr. Rourke, any idea on when information on this case will be unsealed?
The affidavit in support of warrantless arrest was sealed last night at our request by a district court judge. We did so that we could finish up a few of the investigative steps. My anticipation is that on or about Monday, when we make a filing decision, my hope will be that we can ask the court to unseal that information and make it a public record at that point in time.
And the last person that said that they saw Shanann was Chris. He talked to us. He said he was the last person that saw her at 5 a.m. Is there anybody else that you guys know of that has talked, or the last place and time that she was physically seen by somebody other than the suspect?
Again, I think it's safe to say that that's, all part of developing a timeline in a case like this, of many, many people to talk to. And so anything that you hear like that, are certainly things that we check into, but then we also try to verify and talk to others and really complete that timeline as best we can.
And we heard she got back from a business trip. Have you guys worked with the airport at all to get tickets, surveillance video, anything like that?
Yeah, so again, it'd be one of those details that I just don't want to disclose. Let's take about 2 more questions, guys. Okay.
Shannon's body was found at the property of Anadarko, but is there any reason to believe that she was killed elsewhere, just dropped off there?
We can disclose that her body has been located. However, I can't say anything further than that.
Since you can't talk about the manner of death, that's something that does get released. Can you share that with us?
Manner of death would be undetermined at this time. We don't want to speculate anything or rule anything out. I think that's enough for today, guys, and I thank you all for coming. Again, I'd like to thank all the agencies in charge that helped us out, and good day to you all. Thank you.
All right, the big news coming out of that press conference. Investigators have found Shanann Watts' body. Her husband, Chris Watts, is arrested. He will be in court for a bond hearing this afternoon. Police also said that they know where the bodies of those 2 children are. Now, this investigation began Monday when Chris Watts' wife and 2 daughters were reported missing. On Tuesday, CBI joined in that search, and on Wednesday, the FBI joined the search. And just after midnight, Fredrick police arrested Christopher Watts, Shanann's husband. 2 law enforcement sources told Denver 7's Jace Larson that Chris Watts confessed to that murder. He'll be in court this afternoon, and again, police tell us they have found Shanann's body. They are also working to recover the bodies of the 2 children. And we want to go live now to Jace Larson in Fredrick. Jace.
Yeah, we did learn actually quite a bit of new information in that press conference there. We learned that they believe that they have located the wife's body here, Shanann's body. It was found on Anadarko property, which is a large oil company that does have property here in the Colorado area. They reiterated, police officers did, that they don't believe that there's any danger now to the community, but they say that they're still continuing this investigation to make sure that there was no one else involved. As I mentioned, they have recovered Shanann's body, but they are still looking for the bodies of the other 2 children who are presumed to have been killed. The police officers who spoke here and the other members of law enforcement called this whole event earth-shattering for this small town here. We do know that charges are expected to be filed in this case. The formal case has gone to the district attorney's office. So here in Colorado, the police department first investigates the crime that has occurred, and then they pass what they have been able to obtain over to prosecutors who have some time to go through that before formal charges are filed, and that is expected to happen either on Monday or before Monday. There is a set amount of time for that. We will be seeing Chris Watts in court later today at 2:30. That's going to be really a formality where he's going to be formally told that he is being held for the following reasons: for murder charges and also some other charges that go along with this case. When we talk a little bit about what has occurred here, this has all occurred relatively quickly. So he was arrested Wednesday evening after he was initially detained. We reported yesterday that our sources are telling us that he has confessed to these murders here, and police officers were led to a location where they have recovered at least some of the remains here. They're going to continue to look for other ones, but they do believe that they know where those are located right there. I think as things go forward here, what we're waiting to see now is information that may be in an arrest affidavit. So that arrest affidavit, it's where officers essentially say, hey, judge, this is why we believe it's important to arrest this person, and they have to come up with enough information to tell a judge that. Well, that document is called an arrest affidavit. It has been sealed by the court, and that's something that does happen from time to time, so it means we can't get access to it. The district attorney here in Weld County did tell us that he believes, although a judge has sealed that for 90 days or until court orders something different, the district attorney said he believes that his office will be able to ask that that document be unsealed sometime either on Monday or before Monday. They want to continue to hold back some of the details, so as they do other interviews, frankly, they want to be able to tell, is someone who is coming forth with information, do they really know what they're talking about, or did they perhaps read it in the media, or did they perhaps read it in a court document that was posted online? So that's why law enforcement wants to hold back some of the details. It's how they vet someone who might come forward to say, I heard or I saw something. This case is obviously in the early stages when you think of how long it could actually go here, if it would go to trial. But as we mentioned, this is fairly quick police work here to obtain a confession just a couple of days after someone has gone missing. We do not yet know when these murders are alleged to have been committed. That's one thing that law enforcement said they were holding back for the reasons that I just talked with you guys right now. So that gives you a little bit of feel of where we stand now, where we're going forward in the future. And of course, this is a story that is difficult for this community to tell. frankly, all of us in the media are stunned by something like this. And so this is going to continue to work through the process here, and we're going to do our best to keep you guys updated and let you know as this thing kind of progresses and how the procedure will go forward. Certainly, we expect to have a little bit more information today at 2:30 in Division 5 when he goes before court. Guys, back to you.
All right, Jason, we know you have been all over this story. You were first to break that he had been arrested. You were also first to get that confirmation from your sources that he had confessed. You know, the police department spoke a little bit about how earth-shattering, how heartbreaking this has been for them and for the community. Have you been able to go back to the home? Have you seen any family members of Shanann's, of the girls? Any sense of if they're coming to town or where they would be coming from?
Yeah, so we've been told there's a whole host of reporters. So while you see me here standing in front of the camera, let me tell you there's a whole team of my colleagues that are here working, and they have been in contact with the family, from some of the different family members, and we do believe that the family is going to be coming into town. I have not been over to the house this morning because I'm working the investigative angles here to try and figure out what sources around this area are able to tell us. But we know last night that shortly after we reported that he had confessed to this crime, and shortly after we reported that he had been detained, that police officers were back at the house, that they towed away a truck that our sources are telling us has something to do with this case. And as we begin to kind of put things together, that was a company truck. We know that he in the past has worked for an oil and gas company and may very well have continued to work for them. And then in this press conference, it was confirmed that these bodies, that one of the bodies was found on Anadarko's property, of course, Anadarko being a major oil company here in our area. So when we talk about how much this is shaking the police department here, you know, I mean, I work with members of CBI, I work with members of FBI as we cover different stories and as we bring different elements to different things, from different stories to you guys. And you can tell in this case that this is something that is a little bit different for them, because this involves, you know, young children. This involves, you know, a husband and a wife. This is just, you hate to say that anything is at all normal, because it certainly isn't, but this is one of those cases that is different enough that it really does affect everybody.
The family seemed so perfect in their pictures. All right, Jason, much more to come out of this. We appreciate your coverage. Now, we're coming back in a few minutes for Denver 7 at 11. For now, we want to get you back to your regularly scheduled programming.